You've got to share it. You've got to be out there inviting people in. And at the business level that Money for Your Magic is designed for, the best, the simplest way, and yes, the scariest, is to be having one-to-one conversations. And again, this is where I see so many people trip themselves up, is they either avoid the one-to-one conversations with the endless coffee chats, right, that we talked about a little bit, where it's vague, right? It's actually, it's not dishonest, but it's not upfront, right? It's not transparent. It's not, this is the conversation we're having, right? The name of the call to discuss if Money for Your Magic is your next step with me is literally Money for Your Magic, is it for you? Right? It's very transparent. There's no pretense, right, that it's anything other than a conversation about taking a next step with me. And so there's that kind of avoidance of it, and like, oh, let's just have a nice chat, right? Let's all be friends, which is not how you make clients. Or wanting to skip the one-to-one sales call and skip to the fun stuff, right? I think it's fun anyway, like webinars and selling from the stage, before you can possibly have enough information, enough insight, enough understanding about your just right client, such that those people in the audience will go, oh my goodness, she's talking just to me. I need to work with her. I need to work with him. And you can't skip the one-to-one sales call. And there are a lot of voices out there at the moment that are telling people that they can, because it's sexy, right? It's sexy marketing to get to sell to many, versus having to take the time required to be on the phone on a Zoom call with one person at a time. It is time heavy. It's not a sexy sell, but it's a sustainable sell, because it is by having those one-to-one conversations that you get all the information you need about your just right client in order to then make your marketing brilliant, because you actually understand what they really want. Why? Because they've told you, right? They've told you about the time that they want back with their family. They've told you about the holidays that they want to be able to go on. They've told you about wanting to feel more relaxed in their body. They've told you. They've also told you what life is currently like. So you can speak to that. You can speak to the difficulties, the struggles, and they've told you all the things in the way, or they think are in the way, of getting what they want, right? They've told you about either overtly or in their language, which most of you as coaches will hear, you'll hear underneath, right, what they're really saying. You'll hear the limiting beliefs in the way they phrase their sentences. You'll hear the lack of belief that they can have what they want. Then you can speak to that in your marketing. You'll hear the fear of what might happen if they reach their version of success, right? Whatever it is you're helping them achieve. And then you can speak to that. So sales calls, for me, are another integrity piece. They're a piece where you're checking, right? Is this a just right client? Does this person have what it takes to achieve the results I want my clients to have? And they're a sustainability practice in your business. They're a longevity practice, because the more of those conversations you have, the better, the deeper understanding you have of who you're actually working with. And that is, I believe, the only way that you can then get to the place where you're ready to do a webinar and speak in that very, oh my goodness, she's inside my head kind of way to a group, right? Otherwise, it's just theory, it's imaginary, it's made up. It's made up and it's not going to land. So that's the sharing your magic stage, right? Learning how to do a really graceful sales call and navigate that that kind of this, like, find the sweet spot between not being pushy, but also not being wishy-washy, right? It's not a chat. If you don't take a stand for the person sitting across from you, if you let them believe their limiting beliefs, if you let them walk away prioritizing fear over desire, unless they're doing that consciously for a good reason, as in there's perhaps some trauma healing they need to do before working with you, you haven't done your job well, right? You've let someone walk away who, if you'd been more honest with, more upfront with, they would now be stepping in to the journey towards the very thing that they truly in their heart desire. And most of us who are empathic, sensitive, aware of other people's emotions, we go too far away from pushy. We go to wishy-washy. And again, that isn't how you create clients. So, little overview of the steps: finding, shaping, sharing your magic, all the way to receiving money for your gifts out in the world, getting to do the work you love. And